Now is the time we've all been waiting for. Janet Jackson is a famous singer who has been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and won 5 Grammys. She has lived with us in Studio 1A. I'm sorry to be rude, but I need to tell you the truth. Do not ask me any more questions. I did a great job, thanks. Today, Janet Jackson's son looks so different from the way he was. Janet Jackson is a famous singer and the sister of the famous king of pop, Michael Jackson. She has been captivating audiences for decades, with her strong voice, innovative music, and exciting shows. As she deals with the problems of being a mom, her life goes through new changes that make us question what we thought we knew about her. What has changed for her since she became a mother at age 50? What lessons does she teach her son Issa while also taking care of the fame she had as a child? Learn about how Janet Jackson and a Muslim billionaire fell in love with each other? How Janet Jackson fell in love in secret. Janet Jackson is one of those pop and R&B acts who shook things up by changing the way music and dance were expressed and making people happy for decades. She was born on May 16, 1966, and was the youngest in her family. Her first roles were in TV shows like Good Times and Fame. Check it out, her third record came out in 1986, which made her a superstar, and the record had themes of freedom, empowerment, and new ways of making music. I don't mean to sound like this, but it was like, okay, you got a promotion, but it was a huge promotion, but I'm doing my job and trying to do it as well as I can. She made a name for herself as a strong artist with records like Rhythm Nation, 184, and Janet. She wasn't afraid to talk about social issues or promote self-respect. To get close, people have known about Janet Jackson's relationship since the beginning of her life. She married her first husband, James DeBarge, in 1994, but they divorced within a year because there were tales of problems. Janet married Rene Elizondo Jr. in 1991. Rene was a dancer and director who helped her make some of her biggest hits, like her Hidden Relationship. From the time they got divorced in 2000 until now, juggling her 2 lives was hard, especially when it came to a court battle over money. Hip-hop artist Jermaine Dupri was her 3rd serious boyfriend, and they were together from 2002 to 2009. The couple had a great relationship, and he helped her with her work, but in the end, they broke up, due to different lives and busy schedules, but they are friendly. A 3rd marriage to Wissam Al-Mana, a billionaire from Qatar, was also important. Why did you not want people to know you were married? We just didn't tell anyone. There was nothing public about it. We didn't tell anyone. Their boy, Issa, was born in 2017, when she was 50 years old. They got married in secret in 2012. Due to cultural differences, they broke up months after the baby was born. The ex-couple now shares care of their son and keeps their lives apart. Who is Wissam Al-Mana, though? How did his life and past connect with Janet Jackson's? The husband in secret. Wissam Al-Mana is a billionaire and very powerful businessman from Qatar. He has gained his respect by making important speeches in both Qatari and international business settings. At the moment, Wissam Al-Mana is the executive head of the Al-Mana Group, a family-owned or multifaceted business that operates in many areas of human life. Since it was started by his family, the Al-Mana Group has grown by leaps and bounds under Wissam's leadership. It now has investments in media, real estate, the most exclusive luxury brands, and many other fields. As executive director, Wissam Al-Mana sets the group's strategic direction and leads its efforts to grow so that it can stay competitive in a world market that is changing quickly. When he was in charge, Al-Mana Group, partnerships and joint ventures with some of the world's most prestigious names have been key to its success in the luxury market. The diversified conglomerate has put money into these brands in the areas of retail, fashion, and living. The brands have well-known names all over the Middle East and Europe. Along with working with luxury brands, the Al-Mana Group is also very interested in media for the growth and promotion of the advertising and entertainment industries in both the area and around the world. The group has a lot of money invested in real estate construction and management, and they are also working on well-known property projects in the Middle East and Europe. That best describe A. Because Al-Mana is dedicated to quality and new ideas, it has helped improve the look of towns in these areas. With his strength and smarts, Wissam Al-Mana has not only kept the group's power, but also greatly increased their operations. This has made the Al-Mana Group a major contributor to the economies of the Middle East and beyond. He shows how the company has grown and is positioned to become a winner in many fields. This helps Qatar become a more important economic force in the world. Janet Jackson and Wissam Al-Mana came from very different worlds and families. How did they meet and what kept them together? The meeting of fate. There was a 5-star hotel launch in Dubai in 2010 where Jackson and Wissam Al-Mana met for the first time. This was the start of their love story. The party where business leaders and socialites from around the world got together with stars became where they met. They came from very different backgrounds. She was a successful businessman from Qatar and Jackson was a famous pop star around the world. But there was something that clicked between them right away. Two people fell in love with each other, but they did a lot to keep their relationship from the media. Jackson is very private, even though she is famous all over the world. The new relationship was mostly hidden from the public for a long time thanks to Almana's habit of keeping such things secret as well. Their close friends and family knew they were getting closer. Jackson and Almana were very careful not to make anyone else aware of their relationship, though. Jackson and Almana rarely went out in public and never talked about their relationship in interviews. Instead, they continued to grow closer behind closed doors. In 2012, they took a very important and pivotal step by quietly getting married. Instead of being the kind of big wedding that makes the news, as many others would have it, this one was much smaller and private. Later, everyone would find out about the marriage because they had purposely and easily kept it a secret, even down to the smallest details. They had a quiet wedding to start their life together, but they still kept a lot of things secret, just like when they were single or before they got married. Being careful and private, Jackson and Almana worked out the problems in their relationship in a way that let them live together. Not when the media is watching every move. Both of them wanted to keep their private lives private, even though they were getting a lot of attention as a couple. This shows that they respected each other's privacy. After being married for a few years, Janet Jackson and Wissam Alabama Manna split up. What caused their short-lived relationship and love story? The breakup. In their marriage, Jackson and Wissam Alabama Manna hit a rough patch after their daughter Issa was born. When their child was born in January 2017, it was a happy event, but it also brought up some problems that no one had seen before. They got engaged soon after their son Issa was born, and after 5 years of marriage, they chose to split up. Many people were interested in what might have caused them to break up, but they wanted to keep their breakup a secret so they could have the most privacy possible. It became clear from people who knew the pair that cultural differences were some of the main problems that were making the marriage fail. At the time, Jackson, who was 46 years old, and Wissam Manna, who was 32 years old, had a fight over their way of life, their ideas about freedom, and their religion. Over time, these changed. While Jackson adopted some parts of Islamic culture during her marriage to Manna, both she and Manna tried to find a middle ground when it came to raising their son because of their different cultural backgrounds. Additionally, information came out that Manna was partly to blame for the problems in the marriage. That's why people who knew him well said he became controlling, which was said to have had an impact on Jackson's freedom and autonomy movements. Jackson, who has always pushed for independence in her personal and professional life, was allegedly finding it stressful. Jackson's claim that her husband was controlling got stronger when her older brother Randy told the media that Janet had been emotionally abused while she was married. Randy told him that Jackson had talked to him about cases of mental distress related to her relationship with Almana. There were claims that Almana abused his wife, but he denied them. In his defense, he says that he was good to her. But he said they broke up for personal reasons, not because he was beating them in public, which is what most people thought. These claims have not been answered in public by either Jackson or Almana. Both parents have chosen to handle this problem behind closed doors so as not to make their son feel bad or embarrassed. Since then, they have mostly been focused on growing Issa with the goal of giving him the best in life now that they are no longer married. They want what's best for Issa, which is why they have decided not to talk about or share any details of their breakup. What is the history of Janet Jackson's famous son Issa now that they are no longer together? Where does he live? But were mostly kept out of the attention. How Issa grew up. Even though Jackson and Almana's marriage had problems and ended as soon as Issa was born, they stayed true to the idea of split custody so that their son could have care from both parents. Besides these awards, what else are you grateful for today? My child. Yes, Issa my name. I'm so grateful, and having him over when I was 50, when I turned 50. Jackson is American, but she and Almana have never lived in one place for a long time. They decided for Issa to spend most of her time in London. By making this choice, they were ready to adopt him and make sure he would have a better life as they shared their kid, even though they would have different ways of raising him. Life is very different in London, and Issa doesn't have to be watched all the time like she does in Hollywood. Jackson thinks are not good for kids. The child is seen to be involved in a lively society that is also somewhat private and has a physical setting that can help the child have a healthy and happy childhood. Janet Jackson has made it clear many times since the birth of Issa that she wants her son to grow up as normally as possible and away from the spotlight as much as possible. Even though she beat all chances to become famous, she knows what it's like to be famous because she was born into it as a Jackson family member. As a child, she was the center of attention because she was born into one of the world's most famous families. This made her want to keep Issa's life pretty secret. Jackson believes that keeping Issa away from the intense attention that many celebs get helps him become his own person and be free from expectations. She shows him a way of life in which he can do his hobbies without worrying about being seen, talk to other people, and just be a kid without the stress of fame. What she wants for Issa is for her son to be happy, and have good feelings and relationships with other people. Jackson is a wonderful parent, and she stays close with her daughter Issa, who lives in London. She always makes time to spend with him as much as she can. Their love for their son drives them to work on co-parenting and make time for Issa as a family, even though they don't always get along. One more time, Jackson's desire to give her son a normal and loving childhood shows how much she loves and cares for her son Issa. She does everything she can to make sure Issa has the same kind of childhood as any other child. Lastly, Janet Jackson is ready to take Issa out of the public eye so she can grow up to be a normal, happy child, something the pop star never had as a kid. But what does Issa Almana, Janet Jackson's son, like to do in his spare time? He is growing up in a unique setting because of his famous mother. What Issa likes to do for fun. Yes! How old is he? Issa, he's 3 years old. He turned 3 on January 3rd. Oh my god. From what has been said about Issa so far, it looks like he has seen a growth in his interest in music. Yes, does he sound good? Don't you get it? He also loves to dance, which lets him show off his natural ability to move to music. A small drum set he got from Questlove was a big step in the growth of his music. Quest? In fact, they gave him a beautiful set of drums. Really? Loves it so much. That drum set is nice. A member of the hip-hop band The Roots and one of its founders. This thoughtful gift not only shows that he likes percussion instruments, but it also connects him to a long line of great artists. Because Issa has a drum set, he can also be creative with any idea he has while staying safe on the drums. Issa really loves playing the drums, but he has also shown some interest in learning how to play the cello. Please change my violin into a cello. Terry, my helper, took a straw and taped it to the bottom of the violin while we were in a hurry to get to his class. He looked like a little cello in it. It made him happy. Playing a whole instrument makes you feel different, and people say he should bring his cello to school. Mama, I want to take a cello, he says. I told you that you didn't have a cello. I'll take one, but please change my fiddle into a cello, Mom. He played the violin for a short time before that. What does he use again? The violin came first. He picked all of this. At 3, it was 2, not 1. Wow. First he picked out the violin. He really enjoys music from that time. That talks about his desire to try a new instrument and find the one he likes best. At every stage of his musical education, he shows that he wants to and is able to explore almost every type of music. The fact that Issa loves different singers, including Bruno Mars, shows that he is also interested in music. Jackson has talked about how Issa has copied what Mars does a few times and how the music has brought them together. That's why Issa has a reason to like music, which makes his life better. A shared hobby also brings the family closer together. Bruno and I have talked about doing something together for a while now. We'll see. There's a story going around that we have, but we haven't. But every time we see each other, we still talk about doing something together. That's why it matters. Music is a great way to bring people together. Jackson often talks about how it makes their bond stronger. It makes them feel closer and happier when they do things like dance, play instruments, or listen to music together. Making Issa interested in music by Janet Jackson, it's always been exciting for me. Clearly shows her desire to help him develop his skills while also making memories with him through shared experiences. Issa's interest in singing at such a young age shows not only his natural skills but also the supportive environment his mother works to create, which helps him develop into a well-rounded and expressive person. Issa is not only finding out who he is as an artist through music, but he is also strengthening his love relationship with Jackson, which makes their family even more special. But what does Issa Almana, Janet Jackson's son, like to do in his spare time? He is growing up in a unique setting because of his famous mother. Janet Jackson, as a mother, Janet Jackson has never hid the fact that being a mother is one of the most important things in her life, which was the best job she ever had and which changed her life. Jackson has fully accepted her new role as a mother since the birth of her son Issa and recognized the importance it has played in her life. Having a child with her husband and enjoying the tasks and fun that come with it has helped her get the most out of her life. By giving back to the community instead of spending a lot of time on Hollywood and its fame. Jackson's main idea about the politics of motherhood is that she wants to make sure that Issa doesn't have to deal with the same kinds of stresses and competition for fame that she did when she was young. Her family is famous, so she knows what it's like to deal with the stresses that come with it. The huge amount of attention she got from the public and the pressure that was put on her from a young age had a big impact on her life. But Janet is very determined, and she promised to make sure that Issa grows up to be like any other kid, even though she was born into a famous family. To some extent, she goes on to say that she turns down those chances to help him succeed because of pressure from the public. But let Issa be a kid so he can enjoy the freedom that comes with it. Janet wants to keep her son from having to meet too many high standards for his ability, which shows that she is a caring mother. She loves her family very much and makes sure to spend as much valuable time as she can with Issa. She also tries to create moments that they can laugh about back in the future, as being as normal as it can be. Jackson has said in many interviews that becoming a mother has brought her a lot of happiness and satisfaction and has completely changed how she lives her personal and work life. She says that being a mother gives her a lot of happiness and has made her life better in ways she never thought possible. This big shift in focus has made her rethink her goals and find a way to balance her love for music with other things, by her promise to be a caring and thoughtful mother. As Jackson deals with the challenges of being a superstar and a mom, she has come to believe that her job as a mom is not only rewarding, but also life-changing. She says that being a mother has taught her lessons that have affected her artistic work, giving her a new sense of emotion and authenticity in her work. Janet Jackson continues to show through this journey that being a mother isn't just a job, but a deep journey that has shaped who she is and helped her change and grow in ways that are in line with her values and goals. In the end, Janet's thoughts on parenting show how dedicated she is to giving Issa a loving and caring home, allowing him to grow and develop while she enjoys the pleasure of being his mother. Will a new group of parents be inspired by Janet Jackson's thoughts on motherhood and her promise to give Issa a good childhood? How do you think her experiences as a child growing up in the public eye have affected the way she raises her children now? Please tell us what you think in the comments. Don't forget to share, like, and follow for more. Also, click on the movie that's shown on your screen. You'll enjoy it.